Hello class, I'm Ngọc Trinh. Welcome you on to the grammar course. Today we will learn the first chapter, basic sentence element and word type. The chapter aims to have students recognize the basic elements of a sentence and identify different parts of speech. In the first part, we are going to identify the meaning, the position, the function of 8 different basic sentence elements, including subject, predicate, verb, object, complement, adverbial, vocative, and exclamation. Let's move to the first element, subject. So what is the subject? The subject is the agent of the action in a sentence. Subjects come before the main verb of the sentence. Please have a look at these examples. Chuong is running in the park. Larry's father sold his own house 2 weeks ago. And a mother bought her car on her last birthday. His parents are the most famous singer of opera. So as you can see, Chuong is the subject or the agent of the actions is running. Larry's father is the subject or the agent of the action sold. The next element is predicate. Predicate is everything that is not a part of the subject of the sentence. For example, my sister is an accountant. In this sentence, my sister is the subject and is an accountant is the predicate. That man tries very carefully. In this sentence, that man is the subject and tries very carefully is the predicate. The next important element is a verb. A verb is a word or a group of words that says something about the subject of the sentence is doing, or what is happening to the subject of the sentence, etc. There are 2 kinds of verb, action verb and stative verb. An action verb illustrates an action, while stative verb doesn't show any action. For example, he couldn't pass the university entrance exam. In this sentence, pass is an action verb. She looks gorgeous. In this sentence, looks doesn't show any action, so looks is a stative verb. Dr. Thomas is my dentist, so is a stative verb. Next element is object. An object is the receiver of the action, influenced by the action. There are 2 kinds of objects, direct and indirect. A direct object is directly influenced by the action, while an indirect object is indirectly influenced by the action. For example, please pass me the pencil. Her best friend gave her a doll on her birthday. His cousin is teaching him English. So in these sentences, me, her, him are indirect objects. The pencil, a doll, English are direct objects. So, what is the difference between direct and indirect object? First, the direct objects come after an action verb. The direct object is the person or thing that is more directly affected by the action or state described by the verb. For example, he is watching a movie. She found the key under the bed. So right here, movie and the key is directly affected by the verb. About the indirect object. An indirect object receives the action of the verb indirectly. It's coming for the direct object and show the person or the thing that the direct object is given to or done for. For example, she begged me to submit a pike. Should I buy my daughter a bicycle? The teacher gave the girl a book. The next element is complement. A complement is a word or a group of words that say something about the subject, or the object of the sentence. And there are two kinds of complement: subject complement and object complement. For example, she is a doctor, so a doctor is a subject complement. He appears nervous before the performance, so nervous is a subject complement. I call my dog Lo, so Lo is the object complement. Now, let's have a closer look at these two kinds of complement. Subject complement comes after a linking verb. It is equivalent to the subject, but renames it in different terms. For example, my friend is a doctor, so a doctor is my friend. Mike will remain the president of the company, so the president of the company is mine, but it is renamed in different words. How about object complement? Object complement complete or adds the meanings of the direct object. It follows the object is modified. An object complement is used when the direct object would not make a complete sentence by itself, and it answers the question what after the direct object. For example, the country elected my president. So the word president answers for the question, the country elected my what? The parent names the girl Sandy. So Sandy is answer for the question, the parent named the girl what? Another vital element in a sentence is adverbial. Adverbial is a word or a group of words that provides information about when, or where, or why, or how to the action or state described. In this case, it's called adjunct. When this adverbial makes some command about what is being said, it is called disjunct. And when adverbial serve as a link between sentences, it is called conjunct. For example, she sings beautifully. In this sentence, beautifully provides information about how she sings. So, the adverbial beautifully functions as an adjunct. In the second example, fortunately makes a command about the event. She didn't hurt herself when she fell. So, the adverbial fortunately functions as a disjunct. In the next example, therefore serve as a link between a sentence, I missed the train, and a sentence, I was late for my English class. So the adverbial therefore functions as a conjunct. The next element is vocative. Vocative is a word or group of words that is used to address someone or something directly. For example, would you like a cup of tea, John? Or come here, my dear. So in these two sentences, John and my dear is the way that you call someone. The final element is exclamation. Exclamation is a word or a group of words that expresses strong emotion, such as surprise or pain or pleasure. It is used to attract somebody's attention. For example, look, he is coming. My goddess, this is a heavy box. So look, or my goodness, is to attract somebody's attention or to express strong emotion. So today I have just introduced to you 8 basic elements in an English sentence, which are subject, predicate, verb, object complement, adverbial, vocative, and exclamation. Please finish your homework via the link in the slide. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello class, this is Ngọc again. Welcome you on to Grammar class. This lesson today is going to cover the second content of Chapter 1, Word Types. After learning this lesson, you can identify different types of English words. English words are divided into 8 different word groups, so today we will learn first 4 types, which are noun, pronoun, adjective, and adverb. Now let's move on to the larger group of words in English, nouns. So what is a noun? A noun function is the name of something. It is actually the most common class of word in English. For example, James doesn't like wine. Peter wants to buy a car. George bought some pens 2 days ago. You can see that noun have been highlighted in this example, including proper nouns like Jane, Peter, George, and common nouns like wine, car, and days. Most nouns have singular and plural forms. They are countables now. For example, there is a letter on the table for you. There are letters on the table for you. In the first sentence, letter is in its singular form, and in the second sentence, letter is in plural form. However, some nouns only have one form. They are uncountable nouns. For example, there is a lot of money in my bank account, so money is an uncountable noun. Many uncountable nouns refer to substances like chocolate, water, coffee, milk, etc. For example, the milk is sour. Let's make cheese. Rice is only edible when it has been cooked. So these nouns are uncountable and they don't have the plural forms. Many uncountable nouns refer to abstract ideas or emotions, like love or sadness or happiness, education, and healthcare. For example, money cannot buy love, so love is an abstract idea. We like to experience happiness. This education is priceless, so education is uncountable now. The second type of word is pronoun. So what is a pronoun? A pronoun is used to replace a noun or a noun phrase to avoid repetition. It performs all the grammatical functions of a noun. Please look at the highlighted pronouns in the following sentences. We told Barbara the truth. Kate asked him about the festival. Jim made this toy himself. Everyone advised Ethan to quit his job. This is my book. Yours is over there. So pronounce a word like we or him or himself or everyone or yours in the sentences. There are 4 different kinds of pronoun. The first kind is personal pronoun. That is the word like he or she or it, etc. The second kind we call reflexive pronoun. That are words like himself, yourself, or themselves. Indefinite pronouns are words like everyone, nobody, anything, etc. And the fourth kind is a possessive pronoun. There is a word like yours, or mine, or his, or hers, there. Now let's move to another big group of words in English, adjective. An adjective describes the quality or the state of something. It modifies or describes a noun. For example, she is a beautiful girl, so beautiful modified for girl. I want someone intelligent, so intelligent describes someone. The plan seemed incomplete and unusually expensive, so incomplete and expensive is to describe for the plan. So, whether an adjective stands in a sentence. In general, there are two main positions of an adjective, attributive and predicative. At attributive position, an adjective goes before or right after a noun. For example, she is a beautiful girl, or I want someone intelligent. In the predicative position, an adjective goes after a linking verb. So at that time, adjectives play a function as a subject complement. For example, the plan seemed incomplete and unusually expensive. Now let's move to another word group, which is adverb. An adverb adds more information about place, time, manner, cause, or degree to a verb, an adjective, or a phrase, or another adverb. For example, please park your car over there. So over there gives you information about the place. He usually talks to his grandparents. So usually give the information about frequency. Jim can speak Chinese fluently, so fluently give information about the manner. And this dress is very expensive, so very give information about the degree. There are many different kinds of adverbs which can add different kinds of information to a sentence. The first kind is manner, the word like well or quickly. The second kind is place, like here or upstairs, and time, like today, yesterday. The next kind is adverb of frequency, the word like always, never, usually. The next kind is adverb of the degree, the word like very, really, quite, fairly. The next is the adverb of focus and viewpoint, the word like even, only. The next is the adverb of true, like certainly, perhaps. The next is the adverb to give command, like luckily, surprisingly. And the final one is linking adverbs, the word like finally, in addition, next, etc. So, today we have just have a look at first four types of words in English, including noun, pronouns, adjective, and adverb. We will discuss the remaining four types, verb, determiner, repetitions, and conjunction in the next video. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello class, my name is Ngọc Jin. Welcome you on to the grammar class. This lesson is going to continue to contain chapter 1 word ties. In the previous video, we have discussed the first 4 types of English words, including noun, pronoun, adjective, and adverb. Today, we will continue with the remaining 4 groups: verb, determiner, repetition, and conjunction. A vital group in English is verb. A verb shows an action or a state of being. It carries tense, person, number, voice, mood, etc. For example, she slept for 12 hours yesterday. She looks marvelous in that dress. You should leave right now. The parent has had his house built. In the examples, words like slept, look, should leave, has had, built are verbs. One verb can have many forms, depending on the number of the subject, the time of the action, and the state of the action. But in general, we can say that a verb has 2 forms, finite and non-finite. A finite verb shows an agreement with the subject. It is marked for the tense, the person, or the number. A non-finite verb doesn't show agreement with the subject. It isn't marked for tense, person, number. It includes infinitive and participle forms. For example, seen at a distance, the picture looks extremely beautiful. He wanted to find a solution. There are 2 kinds of verbs, auxiliary verbs and lexical or main verbs. First, an auxiliary verb is used with the main lexical verb. It provides grammatical information such as tense, voice, and mood. Auxiliary verbs include 3 subtypes: primary auxiliary, modal auxiliary, and compound auxiliary. They will be explained in detail now. First, primary auxiliary are words like be or do or does, have or has. Be is used in the continuous tenses and in the passive voice. For example, she was reading books. Rice is grown in tropical countries. Do is used in interrogative, negative, and emphatic structure. For example, he doesn't speak English, but he does speak a little Spanish. Have is used in the perfect tense. For example, we have been friends for more than 10 years. Second, modal auxiliary are words like can or could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, etc. These words add information for the main verbs in different sense, like ability, or necessary, or obligation. And finally, compound auxiliary are words with several individual words going together, like have to, be able to, be about to, etc. Now let's move to the second kind of verb, lexical verb. A lexical verb shows an action, or the occurrence, or the state of being. It provides content and meaning information. It's varied for tense and voice, and it serves as the main or the head verb in a verb phrase. And it includes 3 subtypes: linking verb, action verb, stative verb. For example, the car is being washed by my sister. In this sentence, wash is a lexical verb. The professor is lecturing on children's rights. In this sentence, lecturing is a lexical verb. The first subtype is linking verb. We call it a linking verb because the linking verb doesn't show any action, but it rather describes the subject and link the subject with the rest of the sentence. They are words like be, appear, taste, smell, feel, seem, look, become, remain, etc. For example, she looks tired. The second subtype is action verb. An action verb expresses a specific action. It includes intransitive and transitive verbs. An intransitive verb requires no object after it. For example, he's running. We don't need to say he's running what. Here, the intransitive verb running requires no object after it. A transitive verb has one or two objects after it. For example, they are reading books. She cooked a big meal. If we just say they are reading, the meaning of the sentence is incomplete. So here, the transitive verb reading needs an object after it to make the sentence meaningful. The third subtype is stative verb. As its name refers, a stative verb doesn't show any action. It shows thoughts or opinions or emotions, senses, protections, etc. It cannot be used in continuous tenses. Examples of stative verbs are believe, understand, have, hate, love, etc. For example, we have a beautiful garden. In this sentence, the verb have shows protection. He dislikes being at home alone. In this sentence, the verb dislikes shows emotion. Now let's move on to a popular word group, determiners. A determiner is used before noun to show which particular example of the noun is being referred to. For example, a boy, a that book, or her teacher, some children. There are four kinds of determiner. The first one is article, or the word like a or an or the. The second kind are demonstrative, or the word like this, that, these, or those. The third is possessive, or the word like mine, or yours, or her, or his. The fourth kind is a quantifier. Quantifiers are words that show quantity of something. They are words like owned, or any, or enough, a little, a lot, some, etc. The next common word group is repetition. Repetition is used before a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun to show a relationship in space or time, or a logical relationship between two or more people, or places, or things. For example, the cinema is located inside a large building. Your trains leave at 6 p.m. tomorrow. The bank doesn't close until 4:30. Repetitions are divided into three subtypes. The first is repetitions of direction. For example, repetition 2 in the example, she is going to school. The second kind is repetition of time. For example, the word on in the example, they don't go to work on Saturdays. The next kind is repetitions of place. For example, the repetition on in the sentence, she put the book on the desk. The fourth kind is repetition of spatial relationship. For example, the word behind in the sentence, can you see the trees behind the house? Next, a third word appears in more complicated sentence structures is conjunction. Conjunction is used to connect words, phrases, and clauses in a sentence. For example, he is really smart, but he's very lazy. In this sentence, the conjunction but is connecting the clause he is really smart with the clause he is very lazy. Because he has lazy, he's failed the test. In this sentence, the conjunction because is connecting the reason he was lazy and the result he failed the test. Conjunctions are also divided into three groups. Coordinating conjunction are the words like and, but, or, nor, so, for, and yet. You may combine the first letter of each word into the word boy fans or fanboys to make it easier to remember. The second group is subordinating conjunction are the words like because, soon as, although, though, while, whereas, etc. And the third group are correlative conjunction are the words like either or, neither nor, not only but also. So, Today we have looked at 4 final types of work in English, including verb, determiner, repetitions, and conjunction. Please finish all your homework via the link in the slide. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.